Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and there's another video on Raid Shadow Legends. So another fusion just dropped, so let's talk about the fusion, then I'll talk about what it is that has got me irked today with my rant. So first off, let's talk about, let me bring up the, so I can read it. Monday, January 17th, they're going to launch a Fragment Champion event with Opardon Clanfather. He's a Barbarian, Legendary, HP, Magic Affinity. Let me show you a picture of, I think Turvold and maybe Greybeard's mother might have had a little tryst. I'm just saying. Or I guess, actually, I guess it would probably be like Valkyrie and Greybeard, because they're barbarian. Usually the kid would stay with the mother, right? So, but very cool looking, very Skinwalker looking, and yet barbarian, Magic Affinity, and so that's going to drop Monday. He's gonna have a pretty good kit. I didn't originally plan on reading the kit, but why not? Let me just go through the kit for you, just so you know what's going on. So his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 5%, and a 50% chance of filling this turn meter by 5%. 5%? And then you half it in dungeons 21 to 25. Anyway, that's not what the rant's about. We're not going there. Attacks all enemies on his A2. Heals allies by 10% of this champion's max HP. Heals all allies under continuous heal buffs by 15% instead. Pretty good. And then A3 removes all block buffs and heal reduction debuffs from all allies and places 2 continuous heal buffs on all allies for 2 turns. Has a 75%, assumably book to 100, of removing a random debuff from all allies. Paternal. Each time a continuous heal buff heals an ally, fills the ally's turn meter by 5%. If there's multiple champions on the team, only one will activate. Okay, so it's kind of cool. I don't think it's a crazy one. It's going to be a pretty good progression champion. But, okay, so why are we bringing out a new champion like this? What would the purpose be? I see some pretty good Hydra possibilities. I think, in my head, this is a champion that you could fit into a Hydra team, maybe. You know, you need some heals. You need a little bit of everything that this guy's given you, in my opinion. So that's certainly something to consider. And that being the case, why Barbarian? And the only answer I can come up with is because. That's all I have. Why Magic Affinity? Because. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason. I don't know if they have some kind of grand chart. Does anyone out there have a grand chart that lists that you can sort by like affinity and see what kind of affinity support HP champions there are in total, to see, kind of make me understand why Magic Affinity instead of Spirit Affinity or even Force Affinity with this champion. But what irks me the most is they said that Barbarians need this, and we're speaking from a perspective of faction wars, because there's no other real content. I guess there's maybe a secret room. There's no other real content that needs to have barbarians, right? And we look at the barbarian queue, and I don't know if this champion would make it into my 5. Maybe a new player, if you got this champion, be very strong for the 21 faction wars. But I look at all the legendaries, except for maybe Yakarl, and probably you could even argue Yakarl. They're all very, very strong. They're all extremely strong. I have used them all. I used Elder Scark for the longest time. I've replaced him with Rorik on my Faction Wars 21 team. I finished it with Valkyrie. I now actually take Valkyrie out. Syl of the Drakes is maybe the best all-round champion in the game, in so that you get her for free, and her kit is absolutely amazing. This is a free champion. This is a champion you don't even have to try to find. You just have to play the game long enough. You've got Ursaga, you've got Tohanrak that they've added, and even from a Faction Wars perspective, I used Alika, I used Sakara, I've used Kalia, I've used Harkin, I've used Farrakhan. You know, most people use High Khatoon at some point or another just because she's a free login champion. Skytouch Shaman, very strong. You can even use Jotun, Vala. Like, you can. There's so many possibilities here to get through Faction Wars. I find that Barbarian is lower middle of the pack for difficulty. So you're adding a champion to a group that already has such a strong legendary foundation. Maybe they don't have an HP support champion. Oh wait, they do. Maybe they don't have one that's not Void Affinity, I guess is what you should say. But to me, it just seems like, is that the champion we really needed? Or maybe it is a champion we need in, I don't know, a faction that's a little bit more difficult to complete with a little bit harder champions to use. Oh, look, the Skinwalkers that I just mythically, magically, accidentally clicked on, that has a lot of singularly good champions, but as a group, not a very strong overall base. Now, admittedly, I haven't tried Cleopteryx. I'm going to try to say her name properly once. To clear, I didn't use the bears, though I've heard the bears are usable, meaning they're not good, but you can get through with it. I've built a lot of these other champions, which all seem to be single target. Basher's about your best nuking AoE champion in the whole lot. Now, I don't have Norog, but he's mainly defense stalwart based. Corner you can build out for nuke. So, I look at this. I look at the legendary pool here, and I just see. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's all I got for you. I don't see it. I don't see why a champion that looks like a Skinwalker probably is a Skinwalker. Probably his dad's a Skinwalker. Isn't a Skinwalker. I don't understand. And it's not just that. Skinwalkers are the biggest show of that. But you think of the previous ones. I think that at one point Demonspawn was situationally very difficult. And look what they did. Look what they added to make this an overall easier. Sishia was added. Countess Lix was added. There's new ones that I don't have yet that were added. Duchess, of course, though it's been a while, she wasn't added to the game. But look at the epic pool now. Even the bad ones. But like you've got Magnar in here, which is a top tier epic. Gorlos really good. Skimfos is usable. Tanix, Achak. You've got all these new champions. Scion, just kidding. But you seem to have addressed the toughest completion dungeons for faction wars. This is another good example, and I still think you have some work to do here. But Thalesia, now you've got an AoE defense down. Miscreated Monster, it's been a while now since you've added, but that definitely adds everything up to 21. It can be a little bit difficult with the monster. Faceless has always been around, but you've added Rector Drath, right? Rector Drath probably got 50% of the player base who was struggling with Knights Rev through Knights Rev. And then you've got a buff Tomb Lord, you've got Calvalax, you've got a buff Solus, you've got a Mother Sebel. Who else? Warlam got buffed. So, I'm not saying that Knights Rev still isn't one of the tougher ones, but you've definitely added more options to make it easier. You go to Undead Horde, and you've just love adding. When in doubt, add it to Undead, but certainly don't make a Void Affinity epic champion. That's the two rules. But I mean, you've buffed Crypt King, where I absolutely Crypt King Grawl is ridiculously strong now. My free-to-play has him at 50, and he's getting me through. I think I'm at level 20 on Faction Wars already, and it's just obviously you just keep going through Roto, Sato, Elgaius that you've added. You've buffed Mashaled. You keep going. Siphi, obviously, Necrit, right? All these champions. You've created so many strong champions in some of these harder factions, and then you bring out someone that looks like a Skinwalker, and you don't put it in Skinwalker. I don't even know what to say. Like, why can we not have it? Please make me a nuking HP Skinwalker with an AoE nuke. Please give me an AoE defense down Skinwalker. You've given me the revive, so I'll shut up about that. But no more single target. No more. Right? Even you added Leoris, and I haven't played with Cleo, like I said, but Brachus was newer to the group. Thane is newer to the group. We got our revive, so that's good. But why is it? What is your... Why do you hate Skinwalkers? Why will you not give me a Skinwalker that can AoE nuke, and why will you not give me a Skinwalker that can AoE defense down And why can't it be a legendary Spirit Affinity Fragment Fusion champion? I don't have answers. Do you have answers? Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Please give love to the Skinwalkers. Stop making legendary champions, let alone fusion champions, in factions that we don't need the extra help. It's nice to have that champion, it's a good-looking champion, but to have that champion in Barbarians, it's not needed. We don't need it there. There's many other places we need it. Heck, Shadowkin has a more complete faction already than the Skinwalkers, and they need your help. So please help them. That's all I have. That's my rant for the day. Let me know if you're going to do the fusion in the comments down below. I'm a little curious as to what your guys' early thoughts are on the fusion. And other than that, please be safe, be kind. See you in the next video.